The poor father watched his 3 sons grow up day by day. When the youngest son finally came of age, the father told them it was time to go find work. He asked each son to bring back a suit of clothes after 1 year. So the 3 brothers set off together. When they reached a crossroads, they said goodbye and each chose a different path. Martin walked into a forest where he met a toad. The toad asked Martin if he would work for her, doing tasks like sawing logs and chopping firewood. Every night he had to tuck the toad into bed, and every morning he had to go wake her up. After hearing this, Martin decided to stay and work for the toad. Following her instructions, Martin worked hard every day chopping wood. Meanwhile, the toad spent her days practicing swimming in a pond. A year quickly passed, and the toad praised Martin for his excellent work. She allowed him to choose a suit of clothes from the storeroom to take home. At the crossroads, Martin met his 2 brothers again. When they heard he had been working for a toad, they couldn't help laughing at him. But when Martin showed them the clothes, the 2 brothers became a little jealous. Back at home, the 3 brothers lived together for a while. Soon their father told them to go out and work again. This time he asked them to bring back some wine. The 3 brothers said goodbye under the big tree and went their separate ways again. Martin returned to the toad and continued working as a carpenter. But this year the workload was twice as heavy as before. Even so, Martin finished every task. The toad then told him to go to the wine cellar, find an empty bottle, and fill it with her favorite wine. So Martin filled the bottle and set off for home. Once again the 3 brothers met beneath the big tree. When the 2 older brothers saw the small bottle of wine in Martin's hands, they thought their father would be disappointed. Back at home, Martin took out the largest wine barrel and began pouring the wine into it. His brothers laughed at him at first, but their smiles soon disappeared, because the wine in Martin's bottle never seemed to run out. When the family finally tasted the wine, they were amazed. None of them had ever drunk wine that delicious before. At that moment, the father mentioned that his sons were now old enough to marry, so he sent them out once more to find wives. The toad told Martin that this year he needed to work faster and chop down the entire forest, stacking the wood neatly. Martin immediately agreed and finished all the work before the year ended. After everything was ready, the toad told Martin to lie down on top of the woodpile in his bed. Then she told him to light the fire. She said that after the fire was lit, he would see frogs jumping into the flames from every direction. Martin had no choice but to follow her orders and set the woodpile on fire. Sure enough, chaos broke out around him as flames shot high into the sky. Feeling exhausted and sad, Martin decided to take a nap. As he fell asleep, a magnificent palace suddenly appeared on the empty land beside him. The toad transformed into a beautiful young woman. It turned out the princess and everyone in the castle had been cursed and turned into frogs. Only an honest and kind young man who obeyed her every command could break the curse. And it was clear that Martin was exactly the person the princess had been waiting for.